Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another exciting episode of your favorite program, Good Answer, with the founder of Huda TV, Sheikh Yousef Estes. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum, Malik.
You've done a pretty good job so far. You're answering all our questions, but we have a few more episodes left and we have a lot more good questions for you. Are you ready to answer them?
We'll find out.
Inshallah. Of course, we have our studio audience. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum. MashaAllah.
Excellent. Welcome, you guys. Sheikh Yousef, like I said before, we hit the streets of the UK. We collected a lot of good questions. I want you to answer them, inshallah. So the question of the day is, let's check out this clip.
Hi, my name is Subhas, and I'm just studying the business management in London. My question to you is, why do Muslim people generally eat halal food, and why they do call alcoholic thing haram?
That is a good question, Sheikh Yousef. Why do Muslims eat halal food? Certainly, if Islam is easy, why can't we eat anything?
Let's find out from our audience.
What do you guys
think?
Go ahead,
like to add anything to this, brother? Please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Hussam Eddin Alam, and my question with regard to this point, is it true that everything is which is halal, which is prescribed as halal in Islam, because it's healthy and wholesome, and whatever is forbidden and which can be described as haram because it's filthy and unhealthy for our body? Is it true or not?
Good question. In other words, if it's halal, is it for a medical purpose or not necessarily? Are we doing it for a medical purpose or because Allah has told us to? What do you think, Sheikh?
First of all, let's look at the word halal. What is halal?
I hear it all the time. I see it written down stores. What does it mean?
And the other word, haram. I think he said haram at the end.
Yeah, and we hear that one even more.
Yeah. Haram is forbidden.
Okay.
Now let's look at the word haram, and then we'll go to the word halal.
Okay.
Haram is anything forbidden. The harem, you've heard of harem?
Yes. Right.
The man has a harem, right? A big sultan or a sheikh, he has a harem.
I think I would like one. I don't know I think it's halal, isn't it, Sheikh? Tell us.
Actually, it was very famous in Turkey.
Okay.
And I've been there and seen where they used to have the harem of the sultanate.
Okay.
But what was that about? They used to have it in Spain too, by the way, and many of the countries. What it was a place where the women stayed, even if they were guests who came there with their husbands.
Okay.
All the women had a place they could go, relax, take off their coverings, sit together, have a good time. And it was forbidden for any men to enter that area except for eunuchs. And they used to have eunuchs. These were men who had been castrated and had no sexual desire.
Right.
And they were the guards for them in those days.
Okay.
Obviously, you don't do that today. Islam is not prescribing. I'm just telling you what they had. And that area, the harem, was from haram.
Okay.
But there's another place that's called the haram. Where is the haram?
Come on, you guys.
You guys know the haram? Mecca.
Of course.
Haram is Mecca.
And I never understood, Sheikh, why they call it that. So please clarify this for us.
Because it's forbidden in the confines of that compound there, where that's at. It's forbidden to do a lot of things that you could normally do. You must never, ever say anything bad there.
Okay.
Because in this life, as we go along, outside of that area, if I say something good, I get a reward. But just saying something won't have a big effect. But there, it could count against you. Even bad thoughts are different there. You've got to be very careful.
Okay, okay.
Even killing an ant or a mosquito, which is normally, okay, it's a mosquito.
No problem.
Got rid of that guy. No, not there. In that place, you don't kill things. You don't have this attitude. You are there only for what? For the purpose to worship Allah. And you're there in the most humble position. You're there in the most, I think, the lowest position. And you should have this idea that I have to think about God, nothing else.
Okay.
No business is allowed to transpire there either. You don't go in there and say, okay, I'll give you $50 for that. No, so I got to have more. Okay, I'll give you 55. No, you don't wrangle and haggle over anything there. This is haram, forbidden.
Forbidden. Excellent. Okay, what about, continue, Sheikh.
Well, there's other things that are also haram. Like, for instance, Allah said in the Quran, we're going to cover this subject, I think the brother was talking about meat.
Yes, and he asked about alcohol in the second part. Why is it haram as well? But yes.
If you look in chapter 5 of the Quran, and in verse 3, Allah is telling us about meat which is haram. He begins telling us, though, you can have meat except what's haram. And then he tells us what's haram. Khanzir is haram. What is khanzir? Pork. Anything, the flesh, laham khanzir. Laham is flesh.
Okay.
Okay, literally flesh. But we understand it to mean anything that comes from the pig.
Okay.
Because you might say, well, the ear is not actually flesh. Or you might say cartilage, or you might say a bone, or the eyeball, or
so on and so forth.
I'm not eating pig's eyes, so I'm sorry. Forget about it. But we consider the whole pig to be something that is forbidden to us. Now, let's look at this. Is it because of health or medical reasons?
Good question.
Is it because of health or medical reasons? That's what you asked me.
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe,
maybe not.
Maybe not. Let's now go to the alcohol. In Quran, we find again Allah telling us that alcohol,
right,
and gambling are forbidden, haram.
Okay.
In them, these two, you will find some benefit.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
But the overall is bad, evil. So you have to avoid it. You have to stay away from it. You mustn't participate in drinking alcohol or gambling. What would be the benefit? Well, we have some people that say, well, you know, in some cases, a little beer might be good for your stomach. A little wine might be nice to relax.
We hear it a lot. I hear it a lot, especially coming from a Greek background. They say, Malik, a little bit of wine is good for you.
That's in the Bible.
Right, right.
That's in the Bible. Paul, I think, telling one of his disciples that a little wine for the stomach is good.
Right, okay.
Okay. And since then, we've seen a lot of priests become real winos. But that's not our point. And may Allah help all the people come to the truth. I didn't mean a bad thing. But let us look now to us. What is our take on that? Is it because alcohol can destroy your life? Is it because alcohol can be addictive? Is it because alcohol is something that affect your mind? You have an accident, maybe even kill people while you're driving. Is that the reason? What about the gambling?
Right.
There's some benefit. If I win, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, you're ahead.
But what about the destruction? Somebody has to lose in order for me to win.
Right, of course.
True or false?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Even if I win every time, somebody else lost every time. True or false?
Of course, true.
So this is definitely doing what? It breaks one of the biggest principles of Islam. Rights.
Okay.
Islam bestows rights. There is rights assigned to every single thing. Even Allah has rights over us to be worshipped alone without any partners. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has the right to be followed as the last and final messenger of Allah. The Quran has the right to be recited and put into practice in our lives. Our parents have the rights over us after that. After Allah and His Messenger, who has the most rights? Your mother, your mother, your mother.
Of course.
You know that, right? So your parents have rights on you.
Right.
Your body has rights on you as well. In Islam. Every single living being, every ant, every cockroach, everything living has rights. You don't have the right to take any life without a purpose, even a cockroach. It's not right unless there's a reason. The same is true of any plant. You mustn't take their lives of a plant unless there is a reason. Maybe I want to get rid of poison ivy because it could hurt these children. Okay, that's a reason. You follow? But I can't just go around arbitrarily chopping down trees and plants because I don't like them.
Of course, excellent point.
So then the minerals have rights. Look at this. Our Prophet ﷺ told us when you're making wudu in a river or a lake, some big body of water, still conserve the water. Don't waste it.
SubhanAllah.
And that's 1,400 years ago, before the green movement, people worried about the planet. Our Prophet ﷺ told us conserve water.
I'm glad you mentioned that. In this day and age of environmentalism, that's an excellent point. Sheikh Yousef, going back to the consumption of wine, you know, one time a man was intoxicated and he told me, Malik, didn't you know a glass of wine a day is good for your heart? A little wine a day. I said, okay, maybe a little wine is good for you. But sir, you're drinking a gallon. So perhaps Allah knows our limits, and He knows our limits, and He has forbidden it for that reason as well.
I'm going to take a different position. My position on this subject is a more simple position. In the very beginning, what was the first and foremost thing that human beings were ordered? I'm talking about Adam and Eve. When they were in the paradise, They were in the lowest level of paradise called Eden or Aden. And in that place, Allah told them, eat anything you like, drink anything you like, but stay away from this tree. Actually, he didn't say don't eat it. I found that the meaning in Arabic was don't approach it, don't get close to it, don't even think about it.
That was haram for them.
Haram.
Right.
It was haram even to approach this tree.
Right.
True or false?
True.
Why?
A test, I suppose.
Was it something wrong with the tree? Maybe it was poison tree. Was it poison ivy?
We don't
was
know.
it some kind of fruit that was going to make them crazy?
We don't know.
Or was it a snack that Allah wanted for himself for later? Stuff for Allah.
Of course not.
You know, this is stupid.
Right, right.
Why this? And anybody in their right mind look at this example will say, well, I guess it was a test. And so how does that make it any different from any other commandment of Allah? Allah said, eat, then you eat. He said, don't eat, then you don't eat. He said, pray, you pray. He said, don't pray, don't pray. So we have times that we're supposed to eat, times we don't. Fasting Ramadan, for instance.
For example.
Right?
Of course.
Time to pray. Oh, you can pray anytime you want to, except don't pray at the time when the sun is actually rising up or setting or when it's straight overhead.
Okay. Don't do it.
Also, don't pray if you don't have wudu.
Right.
Also, don't pray for a woman in her menstrual cycle.
Okay.
So there's do's and don'ts, right?
Simple.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But why?
That's the question.
Allah knows, but we don't.
Sheikh, that's a good answer. You give us a good answer as far as defining what is haram. But after we take a short break, I want you to go a little bit further and define what is halal. Are you up for the challenge?
We'll find out.
All right, you guys stay tuned for more Good Answer with Sheikh Yousef Estes. Welcome back to Good Answer with Sheikh Yousef Estes. Sheikh, you're doing a pretty good job so far, but you're not. But you're not out of the woods yet. We still have a lot more good questions. You guys in the studio audience, do you have a good question for Sheikh Yousef?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ayman.
Ayman.
I just wanted to ask, what does halal mean and how is it used in Islam?
Excellent question. What does it mean? And it's used in multiple ways, Sheikh. What does it mean? Go ahead.
Oftentimes we take the word halal, we translate it to mean permissible. The thing which is not forbidden, it's permissible, you can do it. And what does it mean? I heard something when I first came to Islam. I like this. 21 years ago, and it's just as beautiful today as it was then. I was told that in Islam there are two areas for a human being. One is his daily life, the other is his ibadah or his worship to Allah.
Okay.
In your daily life, Malik, anything and everything is halal for you.
Unless
you find an evidence in Islam saying that it's haram or forbidden.
Well, that sounds easy.
But everything that's in your worship to God is totally forbidden unless you can find an evidence to make it permissible for you. So it means in your life you can make up whatever you want. Innovate, have a good time. The bid'ah of the life is totally fine. This is where the khayr, the good is coming from this kind of bid'ah.
Okay.
We invented cars and trains and airplanes, microwave ovens.
Submarines.
I like microwave to fix my coffee, by the way. So we have all these cool things. Television, for instance, this is a huge bid'ah. What are we doing here, you know? And all of this is khayr if it's used properly. If you don't use it right, then it would be haram.
Okay.
A sword is fine until you misuse it, then it's haram.
Good point.
The same with an electric saw is fine until you start cutting your fingers off or something. That's haram.
I see the formula.
So this is how we understand the daily life.
Okay.
If you don't find evidence, enjoy it. Don't make a problem for yourself. Islam didn't forbid it. Don't listen to these people that are out here, extremists, telling you, haram, brother, haram, 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 haram. No.
Right, take it easy.
Thank you, have a nice day.
Okay.
You don't have a proof, then leave me alone.
Right.
And don't give me some fringe area proof based on something that could be taken 3 different ways.
From some half-baked potato as well. We want a full-baked potato.
You like that, half-baked potatoes. Well, let us come to this now. About this subject of what is halal.
Okay. Good.
I can enjoy any kind of food I want to eat. I can enjoy any kind of drink I want to drink, with the exception of what Allah clearly said or the Prophet ﷺ told us to stay away from. In this case, okay, I'm going to in some cases, I'm happy to stay away from. Alcohol, I have no problem. That stuff stinks.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's not good.
And if you try to drink it, man, it burns you.
And you're going to get sick. You're
Yeah,
going to have health
it
problems.
could.
There's a million and one
I don't
problems.
need it. But that's my choice anyway.
Right.
Some people, maybe they don't want to eat steak. I like steak, man. Some people, they don't want to eat chicken. I love chicken.
Right, right.
In fact, I love almost every kind of meat out there. Almost. Except lizard. I don't eat lizards.
But I definitely see your point.
Some things we were told don't eat it. And of course, the pork is the famous one. Don't eat the pig. Also, we shouldn't eat a lion, a tiger, a bear. Oh my! We should stay away from the things with the long fangs, the falcons, the eagles, and don't eat those because they are animals of prey.
Okay.
But also, more important, it's not in Islam. Don't eat it.
It's simple enough.
There are certain kind of crustaceans that some of the Jews will not eat.
Right, right.
Because they believe it's unhealthy. But we don't have that. We are allowed to eat anything of the sea. Some Muslims have followed some of the Jewish teaching and carried that forward, such as don't eat lobsters, don't eat shrimp, don't eat oysters, don't eat clams. These are bottom feeders, catfish.
Right, right.
But actually Islam didn't forbid that. It's the opposite. Go to chapter 5 of the Quran. Allah clearly says, on this day I made all these things halal for you. And one of the things he said, everything from the Bahr.
Okay.
That's the sea, right or wrong?
Right, right.
So anything in the water lives in the water all the time. Now a frog doesn't really live in the water all the time. He starts as a tadpole, becomes a frog. So there's a dispute over whether or not you can eat frog legs.
I don't like it.
Tastes like chicken, by the way, but who cares? I don't care. If you tell me don't eat it, I won't eat it.
Okay.
An alligator is another character who is living in the water, but he's not from the water, so they still don't eat the alligator. Again, he looks more like an animal of prey. Allah alam. So I don't eat alligators and crocodiles.
Good answer,
But
Sheikh.
as I remember last time I went to IHOP or Denny's, they weren't offering crocodile or alligator on the menu, so I don't care.
Maybe in Paris, but not in Texas.
I want to be a little bit serious, though. Seriously, the subject of halal.
Okay.
Don't make this life hard. Oh, please, brothers, please, sisters, listen carefully to what I'm telling you right now. Don't make Islam difficult for us. Please, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants the deen to be yusra. Yusra. Make it easy for the people.
Yeah,
don't make it usr, which is difficult. Difficult.
Right, right.
And can you imagine, this is what it looks like when you say haram, difficult, halal, makes you smile.
Right, right.
So the deen, the way of life in Islam is to take it easy. Find the middle path, keep a balance, don't be an extremist on anything, especially when you start talking halal and haram. Don't do that. Now, worship-wise, I want to come back to that. Worship-wise, it must be that we only follow what the Quran and the Prophet ﷺ told us.
It's the opposite of our daily
We must be careful about this.
It's the opposite of
Otherwise,
daily life.
you will change the religion. It won't be Allah's religion anymore. And Allah said in chapter 3, verse 85 of the Quran, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا فَلَا يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Here Allah is saying for sure, if anybody desires a way of life other than what He prescribed by inventing or coming up with something new, following other than what is Islam, he is not obliged to accept it. He will not accept this, and in the hereafter they will be with the losers.
Right.
So I'm staying away from that kind of an idea. I'm very happy. Allah said, this is your deen. Pray 5 times a day. Fast Ramadan. Pay the zakat. Do the Hajj. Be nice to people. Be kind. Be gentle. And be always worshiping Allah alone without partners. MashaAllah, I accept that.
Sheikh, what is the wisdom behind making our daily life very easy and making the worship very tight?
Well, if a person is saying, for instance, that I can do anything I want to, in the worship area, then he's going to come up with a new religion, which we just said.
Okay.
But if he's saying in his daily life, he's going to make it so hard he can't get around, what will happen? Another hadith, and this is coming to us from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that he came home one time, his wife was telling him about 3 people who came to Islam. And she says, one of them, he was saying after he entered Islam, you know, now I'm a Muslim, I will pray night and day, I will never sleep, I will just pray all the time. And I can appreciate how he felt. I was pretty excited about being able to connect with Allah too.
Of course.
But then the next one he said, yes, and I will fast every day. I will never eat during the day. I will fast every single day. And the third one, he said, and I'm never going to get married. I'll never be distracted by having a wife, something like this.
Right.
So that's it.
Right,
Prophet
right.
Muhammad, peace be upon him,
Peace be
became
upon him.
angry. He became angry. He said, I am more to give the example of Islam than these guys. And you find me praying, but sleeping.
Right.
You find me fasting, but also eating.
Right.
You'll find me getting married, having wives.
Right.
And Allah made two things beloved to me. An-nisa wa atib, which is women and beautiful fragrance.
MashaAllah.
And these things show us that to have a balance in your life.
Balance.
It's an order, not just a suggestion. You must keep a balance in your life.
Excellent point. Good answer. We must keep a balance. Sheikh Yousef, regarding halal foods, like the brother was asking, if a meat is permissible, say for example beef, in Texas we have many cows, in California as well, can I eat the cow? Or what has to be performed on the cow to make it halal?
There's something called the biha.
Okay.
The biha should not be confused with halal. Because anything the biha is halal,
Okay.
as long as it was done on a halal animal.
Perfect.
You cannot do the biha on a pig,
Right.
because it's not going to make it halal.
Right.
True?
I see your point. Yes.
Okay.
Good answer.
But also there are animals that have been killed properly that are not the biha.
Right.
Because a Jew or a
Right.
Christian
Right.
could kill the animal in the proper way, and it's still for us halal, but it is not the biha.
Okay. I see your point.
So there are a lot of meats that are halal, some meats that are the biha.
Right.
Everyone that's really the biha is halal.
Okay. Excellent
But
point.
not everyone halal is actually the biha. So
Okay.
you should make a distinction between that. Instead of saying we serve halal meat, no, you serve the biha.
Meat. Okay, excellent point. In this day and age of animal rights activists, how can we address them and tell them this, the biha, as you say in Arabic, or the method of putting down the animal, it's very controversial. Why?
Well, it isn't if you know the real laboratory studies. In Europe, for instance, I think it was in Germany, I'm not sure, they had a test that was run one time by putting electrodes on the brain area of the cow.
Okay.
And they said through these examples that they did, the way of the slaughter of doing the concussion, where they hit the brain up here with an impact called the stun gun.
Right. This is the
Then-
popular way. Right.
Yeah, this is what's done in America. I've worked in slaughterhouses, I know.
Right.
And so when it's called a capture bolt stun gun.
Okay.
And it works with a swing, like almost like a hammer. It looks
Okay.
like you're hitting him with a hammer, but when it strikes, the pin goes back and fires a shot, which drives that pin back into his head enough to give him a brain concussion.
Oh, I
and
see.
then he's like, oh, like this.
Right,
Okay,
right,
that's why you
right.
see him do that.
Right.
They're getting a brain concussion. It doesn't always work. Okay?
Right.
But anyway, they put the electrodes on these cows and saw the reaction on the
On the chart.
graph.
Right,
There's
the
a
graph.
graph that shows the reaction.
Right. Right.
Now, when the biha is performed, the animal is laid on his side in a relaxed position.
Okay.
His neck is pulled back like this, and finding where's this little knot right here.
Right.
The knife has to be so razor sharp that it'll cut through anything. You have to be very careful with the knife.
Hey, what about the animal? Does he see the knife?
No,
Does he see?
it's
He does.
hidden. I'm coming to that.
You're coming to
The
that.
knife is hidden behind someplace where you don't see it, and he pull the one performing it, lay him down, and take a relax here, take it easy, pull the knife out, and quickly with one passage, pull it up like this. Pull it up,
Right.
and he says, Bismillah,
And that's it.
and that's it. And then the blood runs out. Now, this causes the least amount of anxiety or pain to the animal, and then what happens as the blood runs out, he falls asleep. And that's how he dies. In his sleep, he doesn't have any other feeling beyond that.
Sheikh Yousef Estes, that is another good answer, but I'm not going to let you get off this easy. I'm going to get you on one of these episodes. I'm going to hit you with really hard, with a hard question, okay? You guys, if you want another good answer from Sheikh Yousef Estes, you have to stay tuned for next time. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.